anime takes an unexpected start when a girl named Rui Tachibana and a boy named Natsuo Fuji both lose their virginities after having their first sexual experience in a one-night stand. After this happens, Natsuo immediately runs to his best friend named Fumiya Kurimoto and tells him all about how he lost his rigidity despite being in love with another girl, who is a high school English teacher named Hina Tachibana. Natsuo reveals the backstory that he gets invited to a mixer along with his classmates, more like a group date where he encounters the girl Rui, who is a high school student. However, Natsuo finds her quite odd, and so he asks her about it. While they are having a conversation, Rui discloses that she has always been indifferent. Since the two of them seem uninterested in the group date, Rui asks him to sneak out with her and do her a favor. While they head out, Rui keeps walking and Fuji has no idea where she is taking him. To be surprised, it turns out to be Rui's house, and she takes him to her room, telling him that the house is empty. As she settles down the bed, she abruptly requests him to get romantically involved with her, just to experience it so that her friends won't call her a clueless child. Our flustered protagonist reveals that he has no experience in this stuff and questions her why she didn't ask other classmates to do it with her. Somehow, he reluctantly agrees to it and assumes that it might help him forget his unrequited love for his teacher, Hina. After this unwanted act, they leave the house and Rui proclaims that they will act as strangers from now on, as this experience didn't change her in any way, and they part ways. Switching to the main plot the next day, Natsuo appears to be on the school roof when his teacher Hina joins him and pleads with him to let him read his incomplete novel, as Natsu wishes to be a novelist. It is revealed to us that Natsuo and Hina have known each other for the past year. While there, Natsu assumes that her teacher might be worried about something, and that's why she came here all by herself. Listening to this, Hina notifies him not to be late for class and leaves. Later, Natsuo goes home and gets reminded of Rui and gets rid of the thought quickly. As our main character goes to the school roof, he finds his teacher Hina crying by the fence. However, she ignores it with an obvious evasion and tells him that grown-ups have their problems to deal with. Upon this, Natsuo gets angry and tells her not to treat her like a child. Later, he gets home and gets interrupted by his father Akito Fuji when he informs him about his sudden remarriage and further tells him that the guests are arriving soon. As our poor protagonist seems troubled hence to add more to his plate, the guests arrive and turn out to be Hina and Rui Tachibana, who are sisters, appear on his doorstep, along with their mother Tokiko Tachibana, who is a marriage partner of Natsuo's father who has been dating him for quite a long time. Hina gets elated to see her student, however Natsuo's world seems to get upside down. As both of the families seem to be getting along, Rui wakes up for Natsuo outside the washroom and explains that her father cheated on his mother. But after meeting Mr. Fuji, she's always in good spirits and seems to enjoy her life. Rui further clarifies that she doesn't want to take away her mother's happiness because of a foolish thing that happened between them, so she will let her mother remarry. As the Tachibana family leave, Natsuo's father informs him about moving to a new house next week following the marriage. Soon after all this happens, Natsuo rushes to Fumiya, spilling about his father's marriage, on which he gets shocked as he soon will become his stepbrother to a girl he had sex with and his teacher who he has a crush on. As things seem to be complicated, Natsuo and his father move to their new house, followed by the Tachibana family. Additionally, when Natsuo visits the house, he spots Hina, who seems to be happy living under the same roof. While they talk, she becomes excited to be his younger brother and teases him about sneaking into his room to search for his naughty stuff, which makes our protagonist filled with embarrassment. Later, as everyone goes to bed after dinner, Hina appears after taking a bath in a short dress, making Natsuo flustered. While she sleeps on the couch, our main lead decides to end his long-term crush on his teacher with a kiss. The moment he tries to kiss her, Rui appears in the room, stumbling into an awkward situation. While Natsu tries to fall asleep, he thinks of Rui witnessing him trying to kiss his sister. Meanwhile, we are traversed through a flashback in which Rui catches Natsu as he appears close to Hina. She kicks her sister off the couch, dragging her into the room, saying that it is Hina's fault for letting her guard down. After this happens, the next day our main character goes to school. His classmates discuss the new girl who had been transferred recently. His classmates drag him to see the girl. Unfortunately, it turns out to be his stepsister Rui, and she approaches him, making fun of his messy hair and talks about the lunch their mother packed. Natsu shuts her up, yanking her outside the class. As the two talk outside, Rui tells her that she had to transfer schools because of the long-distance commute to her other school. However, Fuji informs her not to disclose their relationship as siblings. Hearing this, Rui takes it the wrong way, assuming that he is ashamed of their relationship and leaves. Soon after that, Natsuo's friends grab him and ask him about his relationship with Rui. To avoid the situation, he goes to the washroom and speculates if he had offended Rui. On his way back to the class, he bumps into his teacher, Hina, also his stepsister. She fixes his messy hair right away, making our protagonist blush. Furthermore, Natsuo asks her if she remembers something from the last night, to which Hina reacts, shockingly, and whispers to him if they had kissed last night while she was drunk. But Natsu refuses immediately. Later, he looks for Rui during lunchtime and notices that she has been sitting alone. Our diligent protagonist approaches and asks her why she hasn't made friends yet, as she seemed crowded with people earlier, to which Rui answers that she finds interest in no one, as she seemed to have a boring personality to them, and also reveals that her sister Hina makes friends effortlessly. However, Natsuo decides to give her classes and help her make friends, as he thinks that Rui is socially awkward. As Natsuo makes an effort to help Rui, they end up staging an argument and bickering like siblings. Meanwhile, her classmates witness her true personality, asking her to be friends with her. Later at home, as Natsuo takes his clothes off to take a bath, he catches a glimpse of Rui sitting in the bathtub and quickly gets out of there. Despite being in a bathtub, Rui appreciates him for helping her make friends and invites him to have a talk with her for a moment. He decides to go inside, and Rui asks him if he was kissing her sister to cheer her up, and Natsuo get a hunch that Hina is having a difficult time. He asked Rui to tell him the truth about Hina, but she doesn't answer him, as Natsuo is unaware of her situation, and gets out of the tub. The next morning, as all of them settle on the table, Natsuo's father and Rui's and Hina's mother announce that they are going to register their marriage and leave Hina in charge, as she is the eldest, but her mother asks Rui to assist her since she doesn't trust Hina with her drinking problems. The following day, the dinner table is set with delicious foods, made by Rui and Hina, and as Natsuo takes a bite, he is amazed by the delicious taste and praises Hina for her brilliant cooking skills. However, it turns out that the food was prepared by Rui, and Hina only made the salad, making our poor main lead feel miserable. As they are having drinks, Natsuo and Hina get to spend some cute moments together until they are disturbed by a phone call made by Hina's boyfriend, who calls him outside. As Hina heads out, she tells Natsuo not to follow her, and he waits for her for 20 minutes until she comes back. Eventually, Hina comes inside the house and she appears to be gloomy. Natsuo holds her and asks her what the problem is, thus Hina decides to open up about her boyfriend. And as she does, they are interrupted by Rui, who appears from behind, opening the door for her parents. Hina hides her pain and congratulates her parents on their marriage, and they all head inside. At night, Natsuo seems to have trouble sleeping, as he keeps thinking about Hina, as her relationship seems complicated. However, the next day, Natsuo visits his friend Fumiya again, who works part-time in a bar and is the best advisor to his friend. In addition, Natsuo tells everything that happened last night and seems upset about her relationship with her boyfriend, on which one of Fumiya's friends advises him that he should have kissed her deeply. Fumiya suggests listening to adult advice and assumes that Natsuo is feeling jealous, and reveals that he had been going through the same thing. While they talk about jealousy, the three of them stage a fictional act, making a bizarre caught-in-act scene. After that, Fumiya and Natsuo head out, and while they are walking, they witnessed Hina and her boyfriend. The following night, Natsuo couldn't tolerate his curiosity and barges into Hina's room, and our jealous main lead asks her to break up with her boyfriend, and ends up kissing her as encouraged by his friend at the bar. However, Hina slaps his face but helplessly kisses him back out of frustration, pushing him onto the bed, and as their eyes meet, she responds to him that Natsuo is still a child, and tells him not to interfere with her life matters. Hina instantly regrets what she did with her stepbrother, and Natsuo breaks down into tears. Let me know in the comments if you want me to continue the series, and if you enjoyed watching this video, consider liking and subscribing for more like it. Thanks for watching.